This show is not intended to provide the listener with specific medical advice, and you should seek the advice of a medical professional.
This program is brought to you by Zenus, leading the optimum wellness movement in body and spirit with nature.
My whole purpose is to get people off of their drugs and get them to live a healthy life.
It's such a miracle. I mean, this is dollar for dollar. Best stuff I've ever had in my office.
Hey, folks, welcome to the Zenus Health Show on News Talk 840 AM KXNT. My name is Anthony, and joining me once again is my great friend Doug Whitfield, educator and author of Life or Grave Danger. He is also the president and CEO of Zenus Global Health. Remember, the consultation is free here. We're backed by Nature's Pharmacy. That journey to wellness, of course, can be all yours. It just begins with your mindset. Good morning, my friend. A Sunday morning once again. Hello, Doug.
Hi, how are you doing, Anthony? Great to be with you again.
It is always great to be with you. We have special guests today, folks. We'll get to those people in just a minute.
That's going to be great.
Yeah, it's going to be great today. If you want to give us a call, we're going to get that on the deck here first, right? 702-733-5968. That's KXNT. If you like the letters, comments, your questions, if you want to speak with the man himself, Mr. Doug Whitfield, by all means do that. Here we are, another Sunday. And I want to talk a little bit about a very, very important topic to us, and that is the importance of elimination.
Okay.
We talk about Optimum D-Tox, and as we say, it is the gateway formula to Zenus Global Health. Without a doubt, there's some fabulous products here, but it all starts with Optimum D-Tox. How does Optimum D-Tox help us with elimination?
Well, it's real simple. Optimum D-Tox is a complete whole food extraction. Comes from the Mojave yucca that's got some very significant components, one of them being phytosterols and the other one being saponins. And those are the two components that really play a significant role in elimination, because the phytosterols in nature, what they do is they motivate the aerobic or the friendly bacteria in the gut to produce more enzymes. Increase in enzyme production allows these additional enzymes to more effectively break down any decayed, rotted, putrefied accumulation of waste in the gut into tiny particles that can be more readily and effectively eliminated through defecation. The soap, or the saponins, what we call saponins, that's Mother Nature's soap, are surfactants, and of course, like all soap, they have a cleansing effect on the gut wall. So by cleaning the gut wall of any mucus, it allows, again, for more effective absorption of nutrients into the system that the cells need in order to provide, manufacture the enzymes necessary for effective healing. The other thing that the saponins do, they have the propensity to be able to bind anything toxic in the body that are the precursors to most of our degenerative conditions. Things like bile salts, bile acids, intestinal cholesterol, which is LDL. And when it binds with it, it creates a molecule too large to get through the gut wall. So the saponins bound with these toxins can never get through. The body's forced to excrete them. So consequently, we eliminate the cause of most of our degenerative conditions, while at the same time putting the body in a better posture to be able to absorb the nutrients necessary to provide effective healing.
Now, you may just be tuning in, driving around Las Vegas, what have you, and you hear two gentlemen on a Sunday morning talking about elimination right out of the gate here. But the reality is, we hear this phrase, Doug, all the time: you are what you eat. That's not entirely true.
No, that's not entirely
because,
true.
You know, what we've come to discover over time is that poor elimination can lead to chronic disease.
Yeah.
If I'm not regular, if I'm not eliminating effectively, how does that accumulated waste, the poison, the toxins, how does that lead to chronic disease? Because that's what we're trying to eliminate here when we say elimination.
Well, the point you make is real good. And of course, we are what we eat. I'd have probably been a chocolate bar when I was 10, you know. But it's actually what we become is effectively not just what we eat, but what is absorbed gets into the cells. And the cells are very rigid, and they're demanding the exact credentials, because it's like a lock and key. And if that molecule of nutrition or food that's getting to the cell isn't in direct harmony with the cell's needs, it's not allowed entry.
So again, I'm driving around, or I'm at home and I'm listening to this, and maybe I'm a person who's got a little bit of bloating, you know, gas, constipation. That is a sign that there's something wrong there, correct?
Those are all flags.
There's a number of things that can happen if these things are left untreated. How does Optimum D-Tox help that process? I guess ward off the issues that are present there.
Well, it's by eliminating the cause. The causes of all these degenerative and chronic conditions, without exception, are toxins and poisons. Of course, as I mentioned in previous shows, that one of our favorite colloquial expressions in the natural health arena is life and death begin in the colon. That's where 70% of our immune system is in our gut, because that's where most of our waste accumulates. So the Optimum Detox effectively helps eliminate this. See, we've always been taught, unfortunately, which is misinformation thanks to Louis Pasteur, that disease is brought on from bacteria, germs, viruses, pathogens, and that's factually just misinformation. It's not true at all. See, all of these things are living entities, and they're simply looking for a food source. So a host that will provide them with a food source. They're never the primary cause. They can cause additional problems, of course, once they're attracted. But that's why two different people can go into the same environment. One will get sick and one won't, because that's what we get back to host resistance.
Folks, you're listening to the Zenus Health Show on News Talk 840 AM KXNT, brought to you by the fine people at Zenus Global Health. Check out the website at zenusglobalhealth.com/information or give them a call at 702-540-5668. Not next week, not next month. Get on the phone now. The sooner you get on Optimum Detox niche products, the better it'll be for you. Don't forget, you're listening to a show where the consultation is always free. We're backed by Nature's Pharmacy. Doug, I'm a guy, and I say to myself, I'm listening to this, well, yeah, it sounds okay, but, I'm taking a lot of fiber. Everything's going to be okay, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that may or may not be the case, correct?
Well, that may or may not be the case. Again, our philosophy is real simple. It gets right back to what we're taught in biblical times, and it tells you what's clean, what's unclean, the things that we should eat, the things that we shouldn't eat. There's a lot of outside influences that are toxic too, so it could be air that we're breathing, it could be the water that we're drinking, and a lot of times poisons are created through negative mindsets, anger, fear, anxiety, worry, stress. All these things play a significant role in compromising things like the adrenal system, which controls, monitors all the chemistry in the body. So the poisons can come from a lot of different ways. One of the biggest ways, of course, is the denaturing of the food that we're eating. So we're eating so much synthetic food or food that's simply been denatured. If you overcook, you take the enzymes out of the food, and understand that the body's only designed to process 30% of what we devour. So it's incumbent on us to eat foods coming from nature that are rich in enzymes, because at the end of the day, that food's got to self-digest 70%. So when you put food in your mouth, you masticate, you start chewing it, it releases the enzymes, and that starts the process of the breakdown of that food, digesting the food from the enzymes that are in the food that you're eating. So by the time it goes down the esophagus, gets to the stomach, it's 70% digested. The stomach, of course, is prepared. It knows what's coming because there's sensors in the tongue that send signals to the brain. The brain then instructs the pancreas to start secreting specific enzymes designed to digest whatever, if it's a carb or a protein, whatever it is, it knows what's coming. And it also instructs the stomach to secrete hydrochloric acid. So by the time it gets there, it's 70% digested. So the body only completes the last 30%. If you're eating foods that don't have enzymes, it means that 70% of what you eat will never be digested properly. It's either going to be defecated as waste or accumulated, which become toxic and poisonous in the body.
Before the break here, Doug, you said something really interesting, and you talked about mindsets. Stress and well-being and all these things are linked here to the poisons that build up in our system. But I've also heard the gut described. There's a book out there, I think it was written in 98, if I remember correctly, that calls the gut the second brain. There's like a series of neurons or a neural network down there that works with the brain that actually sets our mood. I mean, what do you know about this relationship between the gut and the brain and how our mood operates? And I guess a very delicate balance.
Well, again, in the book, that's the key. That's the secret to all healing, is restoring balance. You see, a body with disease is simply a body out of balance. Once you can restore the balance, you eliminate the disease. You look at the magic of the human body, it's absolutely amazing, and most of us aren't that great as stewards in looking at this wonderful gift we've been given, of the body and of life in general. But every part of the body interacts with other parts of the body, and the brain is the computer that controls and functions everything. So there's signals, it gets data from different organs and glands and cells in the body. There's signals going to the brain analyzes it and determines what needs to be done.
Folks, again, you're listening to the Zenus Health Show. We're going to take our first break. When we return, Dr. George Ritter from the Santa Paula Chiropractic Center here in Las Vegas. And later, we have a wonderful lady who's going to talk a little bit about the power of food preparation and what you can do going forward there. Again, you're listening to the Zenus Health Show. Come right back. Get on the line at 702-733-KXNT-5968 if you want to participate. Come right back.
We're constantly under siege by poisons and toxins in our food, in the water we drink, and even in the air that we breathe. Our liver, kidney, skin, and lungs were just not designed to handle this level of contamination. Hi, my name is Doug Whitfield, President and CEO of Zenus Global Health. When I wrote my last book, Life or Grave Danger, I could never have imagined the impact that it would have, not just on people seeking advice on wellness, but how it was received by health professionals all across the spectrum. The cause of all chronic disease and premature aging is directly linked to poisons and toxins. Stress, nutrition, lifestyle choices, and our mindsets are key factors, but we cannot achieve the quality of life we deserve without first having the right information at our fingertips. And this is why I wrote Life or Grave Danger, to shine a light on the biggest questions of our time.
Get the book that is destined to be a classic. Order Life or Grave Danger directly from Zenus, 702-540-5668. Stop chronic disease before it starts. Call now.
I heard on the news about that 5-year-old who found his uncle's gun. The kid didn't know it was loaded.
I heard on the news about that 14-year-old girl who was bullied online. For like a year, she couldn't take it anymore, so she got her dad's gun from his nightstand.
I heard on the news about that guy who broke into someone's house, stole a gun from the hall closet.
He accidentally shot his cousin in the head.
She killed herself.
And later, killed the owner of the store he was trying to rob.
If you own a gun, you have a full-time responsibility. When you aren't using it, be sure it can't get into the hands of curious children, troubled teenagers, a thief, or anyone else who might misuse it. Your family, friends, and neighbors are all counting on you. Remember, always lock it up. For more information on firearm storage safety, visit ncpc.org. This message brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council, the Bureau of Justice Assistance, and the Ad Council.
This is Optimum D-Tox. It's unlike any detox formula you've ever used, and you'll feel the effects instantly. Our bodies are constantly picking up unhealthy toxins that slow us down, make us feel tired, and can cause disease. But just as we take in toxins on a daily basis, we need to help our bodies eliminate them daily, too. Optimum D-Tox is the only whole food detox formula that gives your body exactly what it needs to become a supercharged toxin-fighting machine. It's so concentrated, just a few drops taken with water or your favorite drink starts eliminating toxins right away. The secret is in the powerful all-natural Mojave Yucca, proven to give your body what it's lacking to fight and eliminate toxins.
I take Optimum Detox every day, and I feel like I'm 20 again.
Detoxing every day is vital to health. I've never felt better.
Take the Optimum Detox Challenge and feel the difference instantly. You won't believe how great you'll feel, and we'll guarantee it.
Call now, not next week, not next month. 702-540-5668. Eliminate deadly toxins today.
Why should you pay attention to the news?
Staying informed.
Because it affects everything around me.
Staying connected.
Keep informed on what's going on.
Staying in touch with the world around you.
Staying informed gives me the power of knowledge.
Stay on News Talk 840 AM. KXNT.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the Zenus Health Show on News Talk 840 AM KXNT. My name is Anthony, and as you know, I'm here with Doug Whitfield. Joining us today is a very, very special guest, a gentleman who's been a great friend of Zenus Global Health over the years. His name is Dr. George Ritter, and today you can find him in downtown Las Vegas, shiny, shiny downtown Las Vegas, at the Santa Paula Chiropractic Center. It's always a pleasure to speak with this gentleman. Dr. Ritter, great to have you on the show. How are you?
I'm well and awake.
Early on a Sunday, right?
For one who got to bed late, it is, yes.
I characterize you as a great friend of the show. In fact, if you know the Zenus products, if you've been around many of the videos that are viral that are out there, and folks, you can find that up on YouTube, you'll see this man. And he's also on our website, too. You're on all the product videos going way, way back. You're, like I say, you're a great friend of the show. You always make such a compelling case for the products. How did you get to know the products?
I was at some sort of a business get-together, and there was a table with these little eyedropper bottles, and I asked the person what was going on, and I guess I went to see Doug at a meeting at one point. I think it was 8 or 9 years ago. I've been taking it twice a day ever since, and things are great. I mean, I prescribe it to my patients. I've had all sorts of great results with the Optimum D-Tox, with stomach problems, ulcers, that sort of thing, elimination, constipation, heartburn. I had one cocktail waitress, she'd get heartburn. She'd take a few drops in water and it would disappear instantly. I had heartburn before I took it. I don't get heartburn anymore. I can eat my barbecue as much as I want. So yeah, I'm fine with that. That was great.
You know, it's interesting, but we get literally thousands and thousands of testimonials just on the Optimum D-Tox. Of course, we make a lot of other products too, but all of our products fit within that philosophy of being complete, whole, functional food coming directly from nature's pharmacy. Nothing's been changed, nothing's been altered or denatured. Because nature has a way of synergistically blending all the components so they are in direct harmony with the body's needs.
You're a chiropractor, Dr. Ritter.
I am.
You've been practicing for how long?
40 years.
In this city?
In this city.
Downtown?
Same place.
And, you know, when we talk about chiropractic services, we have a general impression of what they're like, what they entail. But as I got to know you a little bit more about your practice, you bring a lot of different things into bear here. But you really do focus on detox. What does it mean in terms of your practice and your patients, the importance of detox?
Well, the body is electric, and the importance of chiropractic with detox and any kind of function is that the brain tells the body what to do. If the brain is disconnected somehow from parts of the body does not function, or it functions badly, or it hurts, or it swells, or it goes numb, or whatever. So it's most important that the signal come from the brain down the spinal cord and out through those little openings between the bones of the spine into the different areas of the body. And we have several sets of nerves that come down. One goes to muscle. One is sensory, so you know what's going on out there. Another one is to your organs, so that the organs know how to operate. And if the nerve supplied to this or that organ is not correct, the organ won't work. Like what we're just talking about, constipation. At lumbar 4, which is the 4th out of 5th lumbar, and usually found in the low back, if that nerve is irritated and somehow compromised, the person could become constipated because the signal to the bowel stops. And so the bowel just sits there and doesn't move, and everything kind of builds up. So in my practice, I've had people having to get adjusted and having to stop on the way home at a gas station to use the bathroom because I got things moving so fast that they had to get there pretty quickly. So it's an absolute wonderful way to improve one's health. Everyone should be adjusted. Everyone. And I'll say this, that if every child went to a chiropractor on a regular basis, 80% of the pediatricians would have to go fishing.
Explain that.
A great percentage. I've read 70 to 80% of visits to a pediatrician are for earaches.
Right.
Well, chiropractic can handle that problem. Chiropractic, in making a correction in the alignment of different bones in the spine, can eliminate the body's tendency to go into earache. I'm a poster child. When I was 4 years old, we were a bunch of us playing in the backyard. A little girl on the swing came back and hit me right in the forehead. I walked into it and head over heels, big lump. And 6 months later, I started getting earaches, and I couldn't understand it. All my young life, up into college. And in college, they changed the sore throats for another 10 years. I couldn't understand why I was the only one getting these problems. And it was because the first bone in my spine, the atlas, cervical 1, right under the skull, was knocked askew. It was knocked out of place, and from that time on, the nerves in the ear area didn't function correctly. The eustachian tube was not functioning, and I would get otitis media, which is a middle ear infection. And I've had more antibiotics. I mean, you could save the country of Israel with the antibiotics that I've taken in my life. I mean, my gracious.
Right.
And I've unfortunately had 4 ear surgeries because of cysts and other difficulties that came along because I had constant earaches. So that could have all been eliminated had somebody, in 1949, would have known that a chiropractor could help me. And of course, the chiropractors knew it, but they couldn't get the word out because they were so demonized. And We have a better chance now. When I got into chiropractic in 1978, I graduated, about 10% of the population had been to a chiropractor. Now it rests about 20%. Mm-hmm. So there's an improvement there. But, gee, one of the big deals is automobile accidents. I mean, you have a fairly profound automobile accident. It's like a giant picked you up and threw you against a brick wall. Right. I mean, all these bones become disheveled. They become what we call subluxating. They're out of place. And you'll heal whether you see me or not. But you want to heal out of place or you want to heal in place? You heal out of place, you become the weatherman.
Right.
I know it's going to rain. My back hurts, So it's most important to get corrected after an automobile or a fall or anything like that. Not to mention, I have people coming to see me. They're 27, 37, 47, 50 years old, whatever, never been adjusted. And I don't understand how people do that. If I didn't see my chiropractor every couple of weeks, I'd be on the floor.
What's happened in general with the chiropractic industry? Because you get two different stories, one of which is they're more now in need than ever before, and then you get the other story about the economics, where maybe, the insurance companies and the medical profession has tried to marginalize it to a degree.
Well, the medical profession's always tried to marginalize this. The great story, the headmaster of my school is from Kansas City, Missouri. And in the 30s, they were not licensed, so they were putting chiropractors in jail for practicing. Mm-hmm. So he went to Pendergast, Tom Pendergast. He was Harry Truman's mentor there in the early days. And Pendergast was a political boss, and they were about to license chiropractors. Well, they said, well, let's just let the medical people give the chiropractors their test, and it'll be fine. and of course, at that point, there'd be no chiropractors, And so my wise headmaster went in there at that time, a young man. He said, Tom was an astute Catholic. He was a big Catholic, an absolute dyno Catholic. And the doctor said, well, let's just think this way. Let's say if the Baptists were in charge of the Catholics and how they did their service. He said, you got your licensing. That's it. Right. So, it's too bad, but it all comes down to money. Just follow the money. It's economics. If that patient is in my office, they're not in the medical doctor's office.
Right.
And that's where all that comes from. And, of course, pharmaceutical is very strong. If we did pharmaceuticals, we'd be their golden boys. We'd be great. But we don't. We do our own thing, hand done. Chiropractic means done by hand. In Greek, but we manage, and there are many successful chiropractors out there. It's just that in the last 8 years of the last administration, there's been a total war on the whole healthcare profession. In the 80s, my God, every insurance paid for a visit. Every insurance paid, and they paid well. And as time went on, then the insurance companies cut back, and we're not alone. The medical doctors having the same problem. These guys that are taking Medicare, they get only a fraction of what they charge, and chiropractors, same way. That's not good. But, there's a groundswell since Trump, and although there's no direct connection, but groundswell in people being self-reliant. Right. As conservatives like to be. They don't like to depend upon big government and big programs. Because you're taking your health into your own hands by getting in there and getting that done. It's a great, great blessing to have chiropractors.
Well, I think the whole modality of what you're doing being a chiropractor is totally aligned, even with the things that we're doing, fits so well into the natural health arena, because we work in the field of nutrition primarily, but where I see the alignment is because as a chiropractor, you're able to help eliminating a lot of the healing barriers. See, all of the nutrition in the world isn't going to be of value if the body's not in the proper posture to use it correctly, because the brain can't get the signals, so it doesn't know what it is you're doing. So I see that whole modality as being just so incredibly awesome as it relates in the natural health arena.
Folks, we're going to take a quick break here. You are listening to the Zenus Health Show, brought to you by the fine people at Zenus Global Health. Don't worry, we got more with Dr. Ritter, more with Doug Whitfield, and of course, Katarina Freeman will join us later in the show. You are listening to the Zenus Health Show on News Talk 840 AM KXNT. Give us a call. Get on now.
What if I could show you a way to increase your energy and your vitality, lower your blood pressure, and enhance your libido? No doctors, no drugs. Every day, I'm confronted by people that are just too anxious to tell me that they've got no energy, that they've got no drive. How be if we could change all that?
That's right. Make that call and make it now. Call Zenus at 702-540-5668. Unleash the power today.
Well, my husband is a retired sergeant from the Air Force.
Well, he was in the Army for 14 years and an MP.
23 million veterans. They're heroes who need our help.
Well, I'm here because my daughter has had her third surgery for cancer.
We've had some difficulties, so we're here quite some time. We're going on to 3 weeks.
When our heroes' families need help, they turn to Fisher House.
We learned about the Fisher House through the doctor, and we were so grateful because who has 3 weeks to be able to come and stay at a hotel?
Fisher House is a safe, free place to stay for families of wounded warriors and veterans receiving treatment at VA and military medical centers.
Fisher House is not only a home away from home, it was like family away from family.
Thank you, Fisher House.
Thank you, Fisher House. Helping military and veterans families. Fisher House at fisherhouse.org. Sometimes having family close by is a hero's best medicine.
It happened at my daughter's wedding. This guy kept shoving me. Finally, I asked him, "Do I know you? Have I done something to hurt you or your family?" He said no and shoved me again. I'd had enough, so I banged his head on the table where, unfortunately, the candle set his hair on fire. My daughter, trying to make me feel better, told me her friends thought what I'd done was cool. But I thought to myself, it's not cool. I'm an adult. Another daughter asked if I'd be willing to see someone who'd been working with post-traumatic stress since Vietnam. I said yes, and that was it. I could not accept I was here when 10 of my men have their names on that black shiny wall in D.C. Guilt permeated every day of my life. Through counseling, I was able to regroup, understand my situation, keep all my men in my heart, and move on with my life. If you have PTS, do not be ashamed. Be proud and see a professional. I did it, and it worked for me. It will work for you, too. Visit the National Center for Post-Traumatic Stress at va.gov.
This has been a message from the Veterans Administration and CBS Cares, and featured Medal of Honor recipient Paul Buca.
We adopted a sibling group through the Clark County Department of Family Services. Now our family is complete, with 2 little girls and their brother. We took parenting classes, completed a home study, and ended up adopting a sibling group.
Learn more about the more than 3,000 kids in foster care and consider completing your family. Meet the kids by visiting clarkcountynv.gov/adoption.
Life begins when you adopt.
Leave the unexplained phenomenon to him. Coast to Coast AM with George Norrie. Live weeknights at 10 on News Talk 840 KXNT.
Hey folks, welcome back. You are listening to the Zenus Health Show on News Talk 840 AM KXNT Las Vegas. My name is Anthony, and joining me again is Doug Whitfield, the CEO and president of Zenus Global Health. We're talking with Dr. George Ritter today. This morning, our special guest who's been literally in this city for close to, 40 years practicing at the Santa Paula Chiropractic Center. Make sure you give this man a call. How do people get in touch with you, first of all, Dr. George?
Well, we're at 731-5028, 702-731-5028.
Make sure you make the call there. Make sure you make the call also to Zenus Global Health at 702-540-5668. Remember, the consultation is always free, and we're backed by Nature's Pharmacy. Dr. Ritter, you have been so involved with Zenus over the years. People who may not understand the gravity of how this product changes lives. And we're talking about Optimum D-Tox. It literally does. Folks, go to the website, look at the testimonials. They are too numerous to mention. This product has changed lives in very profound ways. For you, in your experience, in your practice, do you have one of those experiences that you'd like to share?
Yeah, sure. We had a fella come in, about 40-year-old fella. He was in shape, lifted weights, worked out, and doing well, except he had this terrible pain right between the shoulder blades. And he couldn't work out anymore. I mean, it was getting him. He couldn't take a deep breath. It was awful. So I have him lying on the table, and I run my hand down his spine, and I find that at thoracic 5, the 5th thoracic vertebra, about 6 inches down from the neck, it's depressed a little and really sore. Ouch. He said, ow. I said, do you have stomach problems? He says, I'm taking medication for an ulcer. So you see, as a chiropractor, you can isolate things just by touching the spine. So my answer to that was 3 things. Number one, we'll adjust it, of course. He's in my office. Number two, lots of water. And number three, Optimum Detox. He came back a week later. He's off the medication. The pain is gone. He's lifting weights. Everything is rosy. That's how well that works.
You hear these kinds of stories repeatedly with this product. Doug, for you, I know you know this product better than anybody, and you literally spend a lot of your time in your day, and I've seen you do this, talking to people who aren't quite sure about the product, just kind of kicking the tires, as we say, right, before they buy it. But, you know, part of this is really just sharing the tales of what this product can do. For you, what are some of the more profound things that you've seen happen?
I've seen so many of them, but if I was to pick one that probably blew me away, I mean, even beyond what I ever expected, had to do with an animal.
Really?
And the difference with an animal is there is no placebo effect. So they either react or they respond, determining on the efficacy of the product. But we'd got a little, back in 1998, we had got a little male Papillon and dog, and little guy, he was about, probably 4 pounds. He was just a little guy, but he thought he was a Great Dane, you know, and spoiled rotten, and we helped to spoil him. But after a month or two, we found he was literally destroying our lives only because he was very demanding, and he learned how to manipulate us. So what we did is we got a little female companion for him. She was about 5 pounds from a breeder out of Utah. There was something that wasn't quite right about this dog, and I couldn't put my finger on it. It was a gorgeous, gorgeous dog. My wife immediately fell in love with her, and Bibi was her name. We brought her home. She didn't like me because she'd never been around men before, but what had happened, over a period of the next week or two, her health started deteriorating rapidly. So I took her into a local vet here, a very compassionate vet, well-known in the city here. He kept her overnight, and it was determined that she had a degenerative liver condition. When I went in to see her, he informed me, he said, Mr. Whitfield, I looked at the dog. I could see the dog was dying. The dog was lifeless. It was like out of a horror movie. Her eyes were bright yellow with jaundice, and she was just lifeless. And I said, this dog is dying. And he says, Mr. Whitfield, we can't save this animal. He had called in what he told me was the #1 internal specialist in the U.S., and they concluded that there was nothing that they could do. Her liver enzyme count was over 3,300. Normally it should be 110 to 120. And they couldn't even explain why she was still alive, but she had that will to live. I just broke out in tears, and it was foolishly. Here I am, a grown man, and this little animal that didn't even like me. But right. But anyways, he said, "I don't know how we're going to break this news to your wife," because they had become very bonded. And I said, "Well, I'm going to take the dog home." And this was on a Friday. They didn't expect her to survive the weekend, and I took her home. And now both my wife and I are crying over this little dog. And there was a moment that hit me that this is hypocrisy. Here we tout the benefits of these products that we make. I've worked with livestock for years. Mm-hmm. I've seen the benefits with livestock and with humans. So I thought, nothing ventured, nothing gained. If this product is as good as I've always said it was and believe it is, then, maybe there's a miracle can happen. So we started her right immediately on just some drops. And I'm going to tell you, the next day was like somebody turned a light bulb on. The dog was a totally different dog. Within a week, her liver enzyme count was right back to normal. And we buried that dog 2 years ago. She was 18 years old.
That's amazing. It was an absolutely
Well, the next time I saw the vet, by the way, and I won't mention his name, he was taking our product. And I looked at him. I said, "I didn't know that you used our product."
He was taking Optimum Detox.
He was, it wasn't Optimum called Optimum Detox at the time. It was our Yucca product. The Optimum Detox is the
next generation.
Next generation. Right. And anyways, he said, when I see an animal respond like that, he says, I know that it's for real. He says, and it can only help me.
You said something really, I think, important there, that with pets, there are no placebos. Either they're show or no go, right? That's
Correct.
Just the way it's going to be. That's just a remarkable story. Folks, if you have a moment and you want to think about yourself, think about your health, your wellness, give it a call, 702-540-5668. Consultation is always free. We are backed by Nature's Pharmacy. Before we break today here, Dr. Ritter, I want to talk a little bit more about your practice and some of the things that you do as a chiropractor. The vibration therapy alone fascinates me. I've still got to come down and take a look. But talk to me a little bit about some of the modalities you offer and what you do there at Santa Paula.
Surely. The vibratory platform from a company called Turbosonic It's a platform you stand on or sit on, and it vibrates it's whole body vibration. And this is really valuable. For instance,
why was it developed? The story behind why it was developed.
Well, the Russians developed it decades ago for their cosmonaut program, because as you know, when you get into space and you're weightless, the reason we're strong and our bones are strong and our muscles are strong is because we have gravity, because we have resistance. Of course, that's how you build muscle, resistance. You lift weights. Well, you lift yourself. You walk around on this planet. It keeps you in fairly good shape just walking. Well, in space, you turn to jelly. I mean, those first astronauts that came back had to be helped out of their capsule because they couldn't even walk. They were so weak. So they developed this vibratory platform, because some of the things it does, it's every time there's a vibration, and it vibrates between 6 times per second and 45 times per second. What will happen is every time that there's a vibration, the muscle twitches and it exercises. So 10 minutes on that machine is the equivalent of an hour's worth of aerobic exercise. And what? Yeah, but it's true. They've done a lot of research and development over the years, and it really does work. And this is especially good for older folks, because it also stimulates bone density. Because, again, you have bone loss because of hormonal and enzymatic changes as you get older, but this will stimulate the take-up of calcium in the bone through the vibration. So anybody, in their 70s, 80s, 90s who are they can hardly walk, let alone exercise, if they stand or even sit on this machine on a regular basis, it will take up calcium for the bone. It will give them exercise that they desperately need. And it's a very interesting machine.
I've been in your office and been on that machine. And it's the old story. We don't need to be told. We need to be reminded. And I'm reminded just how beneficial that was, and how beneficial. You know what? You can book me in next week. I'm going to come down. I want to use that machine some more.
All righty.
I'm behind the computer so often, and you become lethargic. You're just not moving, And so that, I think, would be a tremendous benefit for me.
And they also have a blood condition called rouleau. It's French, and I'm probably not pronouncing it right. The blood corpuscles, which look like a donut without a hole, really, stack. They stack like 10 and 20 at a time. Think of a stack of donuts on a pole, that kind of thing. Yeah. And they go through the system like that. Well, that makes them very less efficient in carbon dioxide and oxygen exchange. Well, 10 minutes on this machine, and every one of those corpuscles has separated from that stack and is operating on its own as it should.
Well, it's getting your lymphatics to work properly.
At that, too.
So your lymphatic fluid, everything is functioning the way nature intended. Yeah.
Excellent modality.
Shake those red blood cells like a shaking the tree. Once again, Dr. Ritter, how can people get in touch with you for your services?
Yeah, we're at 702-731-5028. We are in the shadow of the Stratosphere Hotel. In fact, we were there before the Stratosphere. But it was Vegas World when we opened up.
Well, I could tell you what a wonderful, wonderful, compassionate human being and therapist, Dr. Ritter. It's I'd urge anybody from any of these degenerative conditions to get in and see him.
Folks, once again, that is the Santa Paula Chiropractic Center. We're going to take our next break here. You're listening to the Zenus Health Show, brought to you by the fine people at Zenus Global Health. Check the website, zenusglobalhealth.com/information, or give them a call at 702-540-5668. We have one more segment. We're going to talk about food preparation. We're going to talk a little bit more about these products and why you need to get on the line now. Come right back.
Toxins create disease. They are everywhere. In our food, in the air we breathe, in our homes, at our places of work.
Heavy metals accumulate in our systems every day, causing numerous health problems that can seriously impact every major organ in our bodies.
They are stored in our organs, tissues, and bones.
We also know that metal toxicity is often derived from all kinds of environmental threats. But no matter the origin, studies now show that heavy metals in the body may be implicated to Alzheimer's, cardiovascular disease, behavioral problems, kidney dysfunction, epilepsy, and even paralysis.
Are you toxic? The answer is yes. We are all toxic.
And that's precisely where chelate comes in.
Start detoxing today.
The strongest whole food detoxifying agent for heavy metals. Call Zenus at 702-540-5668 and strike back at toxic heavy metals today.
driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
Did you just look down at your phone? You did it again, didn't you? You know, you're flying down the road in a 3-ton hunk of steel, and a text takes your eyes off the road for an average of 5 seconds. At 55 miles per hour, that's long enough to travel the length of a football field and cause some serious damage. Turn it off. Trust me, whatever it is, you'll live.
Learn more at stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
We're constantly under siege by poisons and toxins in our food, in the water we drink, and even in the air that we breathe. Our liver, kidney, skin, and lungs were just not designed to handle this level of contamination. Hi, my name is Doug Whitfield, President and CEO of Zenus Global Health. When I wrote my last book, Life or Grave Danger, I could never have imagined the impact that it would have, not just on people seeking advice on wellness, but how it was received by health professionals all across the spectrum. The cause of all chronic disease and premature aging is directly linked to poisons and toxins. Stress, nutrition, lifestyle choices, and our mindsets are key factors, but we cannot achieve the quality of life we deserve without first having the right information at our fingertips. And this is why I wrote Life or Grave Danger, to shine a light on the biggest questions of our time.
Get the book that is destined to be a classic. Order Life or Grave Danger directly from Zenus, 702-540-5668. Stop chronic disease before it starts. Call now.
I look forward to the most about Christmas is definitely spending time with family.
So as you're making your way over the river and through the woods to wherever, we'll be here on air, online, and on your smartphone. News Talk 840 AM, KXNT.
Hey, folks, welcome back to the Zenus Health Show on News Talk 840 AM, KXNT Las Vegas. Once again, my name is Anthony. I'm here with Doug Whitfield. He is the author and educator. Of course, Life or Grave Danger is his book. Make sure you give folks a call at Zenus at 702-540-5668. Make sure you take a look at that book. That is a fabulous book. But we also are reminded during the break of another product where we talk about elimination, Doug, and that is chelate. And the importance of eliminating heavy metal toxins that do get past the blood-brain barrier, and why that is so important. Give folks an idea about what this chelate product is and why they really need to consider it in their daily regimen.
Well, we've seen such a huge increase in a lot of these neurological challenges, and that most authorities now contribute the accumulation of a lot of these toxic heavy metals, aluminum, cadmium, lead, mercury, arsenic, to being the cause of these things. Once they pass through the blood-brain barrier and get into brain cells, brain, for some reason, is much more reluctant in releasing them. Our chelate is an amazing, probably the strongest herbal chelator there is. It's a combination of concentrated organic cilantro, which in the herbal world makes it the best herb known for being able to attract and pull these metals out of cells. The problem with cilantro on its own, it doesn't bind, and so it could very easily take it out of one cell and redeposit it somewhere else. So what we've done is we've combined that with organic cracked cell chlorella. And that has the propensity, it works well with the cilantro because it binds with the heavy metal molecule and it's able to hold it in suspension and carry it through to its final resting place, which is through defecation, to eliminate it out of the system entirely. So it's a combination of those two, really are a 1-2 punch. Sometimes even it has limited value, sometimes with some of these conditions, only because of the reluctance of brain cells. So we've been working with another therapist who's finding that when we can increase the magnetic field, it allows the brain cells to more readily release these. So with the chelate and combined with a magnetic therapy, there's a lot of promise there in being able to really alter some of these serious degenerative neurological challenges.
I've spoken with a couple of your customers, your clients, who have taken this product over time. They've tried all different kinds of modalities, different treatments and whatnot. The benefits that they say that they get from this chelate product are rather remarkable, but it does take a while for the product to work. Is that correct?
Because it's not something that's going to work overnight. Here's the thing is that what we advocate, of course, we're talking about people that have these conditions. What we want to really promote is people becoming more proactive.
Right.
Proactive. So instead of being a statistic, you can live a life of vitality and joy. This is what our promise from our Creator.
One other thing you're doing over there at Zenus, which I think is really fascinating, and this is where I want to bring in Katarina Freeman, because Katarina has a background in what we call nutritional cookware and taking a look at food preparation, because this is another issue in which we aren't getting the proper nutritional value from our meals. If you could, Katarina, give us an idea of why this cookware is so important, why we need to pay attention to this.
Well, it's really important to eliminate some of the sources of heavy metal contamination. It really is. And this is one way that we can control it. Most cookware today contributes not only high levels of aluminum, but sometimes other heavy metals. And when we choose more wisely, and it is up to us, we have to take control of the toxins we allow in our body, in our environment, in our homes. And when we cook in healthy cookware that has medical-grade stainless steel, that we prevent a lot of that contamination. So also the way that you cook the food, if it's waterless, we can cook at lower temperatures so we don't destroy the enzymes. So that's really important, too. It is, and it's our choice. Yeah, we choose what we allow in our environment. You know, we need to eat organic whenever we can.
The beautiful part, and I think that Katrina will agree with this equipment, allows you to cook greaseless without any oils or fats. And because oils and fats, rancid oils and fats are probably one of the number one poisons for all kinds of heart conditions, strokes, cancer, all of these things, you know. And then, of course, high heat destroys the enzymes. It's what we talked about earlier. If we're destroying live enzymes, 70% of what we're eating is going to be either accumulated or defecated. And, of course, water dissolves all the soluble minerals out of the food. You know, you walk into somebody's home and you say, oh, that smells good. Well, guess what? What you're smelling isn't what you're getting. It's what you're not getting.
Right. What we call murder in the kitchen, I think you call it, right?
Yeah. We've got, by the way, just quickly, I'll briefly say, we're going to be doing actually a presentation on this nutritional cooking system tomorrow night, where we'll be allowing people to even taste the food out of this. There's no cost, there's no obligation, but we have limited seats, and the first 3 people that call into the office tomorrow mention that they heard it on the radio show. We're going to have them invite them to that presentation so they can come and see the equipment work and taste the difference.
Folks, 702-540-5668 if you want to get involved with that. That is Doug Whitfield, and this has been the Zenus Health Show, brought to you by the people at Zenus Global Health, where the consultation is free, and we're backed by Nature's Pharmacy. Catch us next Sunday at 8 a.m. right here on Talk Radio 840 KXNT. Many thanks to you for listening in at home. You can also stay in touch by following us at Facebook.com/ZenusHQ. Check us out on Twitter at Zenus Global for all the updates and more. Remember, the greatest gift you can give your friends, your loved ones, is the lessons we share about the healing powers found in our bodies. So send your friends, family, and colleagues a link to one of our shows and let their journeys begin. The consultation's free, direct from Nature's Pharmacy. We'll be back again next week, and please, in the meantime, stay well. Please be advised that statements made during this show have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. The information provided herein is for educational purposes only and is not intended to diagnose nor treat any illness, nor does it suggest or imply a cure for any disease or chronic condition. In fact, you should always consult a physician and or healthcare professional before starting this or any nutritional program to determine if it is right for your needs.